One of my students dropped dead in my classroom, and I lied about his last words. I teach 8th grade at a small school in rural Montana. It was a chilly fall afternoon, and my class was in the middle of a history quiz. One of my students, Noah, walked in late, his face pale and his hair damp with sweat. I asked if he was okay, but he just mumbled something about oversleeping during lunch. Halfway through the quiz, he raised his hand and stumbled toward my desk, gripping it like it was the only thing keeping him upright. "What song is stuck in your head right now?" he asked, slurring his words and struggling to focus his eyes. I tried to lighten the moment, telling him it was Dream On by Aerosmith. Then he whispered, "Can you tell my dad?" Before I could respond, he collapsed. Panic erupted in the classroom. The school nurse and resource officer were there within minutes, but Noah wasn't breathing by the time the ambulance arrived. I knew he was gone. Later, when his father asked about Noah's last words, I froze. His father had tears in his eyes, holding a photo of Noah from a Little League game. I couldn't bring myself to tell him what Noah actually said, so I lied. I told him. Noah's last words were, "Tell my dad I love him." His dad broke down sobbing. He hadn't said that since he was 10. The autopsy revealed that Noah had suffered from a hidden heart condition. I'll never forget that moment, and the lie that felt like the truth he needed to hear. I kept my name change a secret for 5 years. My parents had a unique sense of humor when naming us. My brother was named Everest, which he loved. Strong, distinctive, and meaningful. As for me, they named me Minnesota, thinking it was quirky and charming. But for me, it was a nightmare. At school, I was relentlessly teased. Kids called me Minnesota or just Soda Can. My parents insisted on everyone using my full name, claiming it was a badge of honor. Even teachers winced when they called roll. By the time I turned 18, I had had enough. I legally changed my name to Nina and kept it a secret from everyone. College felt like a fresh start. Everyone knew me as Nina, and for the first time, I felt normal. My boyfriend, Aaron, even said my name sounded elegant. I didn't have the heart to tell him the truth. Fast forward 5 years, Aaron proposed, and I said yes. Everything was perfect until I realized that my birth name would be announced during the wedding ceremony. I had no choice but to tell my parents and Aaron the truth. When I told my parents, they were furious. They called me ungrateful, accusing me of destroying a piece of our family's legacy. Aaron's reaction? He just stared at me, speechless. Finally, he said, "Why didn't you trust me with this? The wedding is next week, and my parents refuse to come." Aaron says he needs time to think. But last night, my brother Everest texted me, "I wish I'd changed my name too. You're braver than I'll ever be." I don't regret becoming Nina, but standing at the altar next week, I wonder, will I be standing there alone? My parents are forcing me to marry my best friend Ethan, who I grew up with. He's the son of my parents' closest friends. From kindergarten through high school, we were inseparable. But when we turned 16, things changed. Ethan started hanging out with a different crowd, and I focused on my studies. We drifted apart, but our families never let go of the idea that we were meant to be. By the time I was 25, I was engaged to someone I truly loved, and Ethan was dating a girl named Kayla. Still, at every family gathering, our parents would joke about us getting married, pulling out old photos and reminiscing about our childhood. It was awkward, but harmless, until last Thanksgiving. Ethan's mom stood up during dinner and made a toast to our future wedding. I laughed it off, but Kayla didn't. She stormed out. Later, Ethan called me furious. "This needs to stop," he said. I agreed, but things only got worse. A week before Ethan and Kayla's engagement party, my mom called to tell me that Kayla had broken up with him, blaming me for ruining their relationship. I tried calling Ethan, but his number was disconnected. Last night, I received an email. It was a wedding invite. My name was listed as the bride. I adopted my best friend. I was 19, and my best friend Jordan was 17. I loved him like a brother. But one day, just before my sister Mia's wedding, everything fell apart. The night before the big day, a rumor spread like wildfire. It claimed that Mia had been living with someone else. The news reached the groom's family, and they immediately called off the wedding. Our family's reputation was destroyed in an instant. It didn't take long to figure out who started the rumor. Jordan, my best friend. I was furious and knew I had to teach him a lesson. At first, I thought about confronting him at school, but then a better idea struck me. Jordan was an orphan. His parents had tragically died in a car accident years ago. I remembered that in our state, you could legally adopt a 17-year-old. The next day, I called the orphanage and found out that I could adopt Jordan. I went straight to the orphanage, completed the paperwork, and by the end of the day, I had officially adopted him. At school, I handed him the adoption papers and said, "You're officially my son now." Jordan didn't believe me at first, but when he read the documents, his expression was priceless. But that wasn't the end. The orphanage posted a picture of us on Instagram with the caption, "Liam and his new dad." The post went viral at school, and soon everyone started calling him Liam's kid.